Good afternoon and welcome down to Weather Down in MuleTown. As always, this is your captain speaking. Got a lot to cover today, so we'll jump right on into it. We'll have a look here at our storm tracker Doppler. Things are pretty quiet as far as precip goes, any type of weather. As you see, we've got wind advisories just about everywhere that we can see. So I will turn those off momentarily. And you can see not much out there, maybe picking up some ground clutter. There are some biologics, like we talked about in that post a couple days ago near the radar site in Nashville. But everything is cool down here in MuleTown. So good news there. It's been a pretty beautiful day. Hope you got to enjoy it because it may be one of the last that we are going to have for a little while. So we'll hop right into things. Today, high of about 57. Currently, it's 56 in Sunnyside. Pretty sunny. Pressure is 29.73 and steady. No measurable rainfall for today with a gentle breeze out of the south at about 1 mile per hour. Tonight, low of about 44 and about a 20-30% chance of seeing some precip and otherwise partly cloudy. So not too bad, not too brisk there on the lows tonight, but again, that is probably going to be one of the last that we see. Tomorrow, high of around 59 and stormy, most everywhere in the mid-states. Got a pretty much 100% chance of seeing that rainfall. So we'll definitely be keeping an eye on the storm system as it comes in. Posted some of the model guidance earlier. It looks like right now that storm system should probably be here sometimes between 9 a.m., noon or so, give or take. But that's what the current thinking is right now. We've got a couple of other things that we can get to here. Get those pulled up. And again, as always, if anybody has any questions and you want them answered during the stream, go ahead and throw those in the comment section, and I will get to those once we get all of the fun stuff covered here. Just finishing up getting our last couple of slides loaded in. So we'll go ahead and have a look at this one, talking about our temps for next week. As you can see, through Sunday or so, it looks like it will be semi-warm. Got a high of about 60 tomorrow and about 44 or so on Saturday. But then on Sunday, especially getting into Sunday evening, is when we start to see those temps plummet. Once the front comes through tonight, it will change the weather, and we anticipate that there will be some colder temps coming. But as you can see there, we've got the lows are going to be the problem. So single digits possibility overnight, Monday into Tuesday and Wednesday as well. So any of the snow and precip that we get will likely be around for a while. And as we talked about earlier, and I still need to look this up, at a certain temperature, the brine mixture is not as effective. So we may actually see some refreezing of roads that have been previously cleared as well. So definitely expecting some travel impacts as far as that goes. And then, as we mentioned, we still have the wind advisory in effect. I've got that down there on our crawler as well. So basically 6 a.m. Friday until midnight is what this is looking for. A very strong wind gusts, 50 to 55 miles an hour. And that is enough to see some power outages or tree limbs, a few things like that. Maybe even pull up some roof shingles at those speeds. So definitely keep an eye on that. And if you do see any damage from that, be sure to let us know. We're happy to go ahead and forward that to the Weather Service, because that is one of the things that we can do for what's called ground truth. So we can see what's happening on the radar, but what you're seeing on the ground helps us and helps the NWS refine and tweak things. So here is our categorical outlook for tomorrow. So you can see we're pretty firmly in the slight risk there. Don't ever let the slight part of the slight risk get you too twisted up. The Nashville tornado from was about a year ago, 2 years ago, was under a slight risk. So it can happen anytime. But as you see there from the graphic, we are close enough just across the Alabama-Mississippi border there from the enhanced risk. So going off of what the SPC said yesterday, we figured that would be a good possibility that it would shift further north, and it looks like it has somewhat. So we'll definitely be keeping an eye on those things. Here is the categorical outlook for the wind. So you see again the red and the hatched area there with all the little squares is pretty close to the Tennessee state line there. So whereas we are not in that yet, it is close enough for us to keep an eye on things if there is any northward expansion of the threat area. And again, tornado risk area, we're in the 2%, but we're close to the 5%. And again, those are pretty low. But anytime that there is a tornado risk at all, obviously we want to take that very seriously and be weather aware. Now, I know what everybody wants to talk about, and we'll get into that right now as far as the snow goes. So here's the GFS model, the 12 Zulu that I posted earlier. It'll show our storms coming through on Friday. Again, probably around 9 to noon there. It does look like a little bit more of a broken up blob of storms, according to the model, than it did yesterday. It had a kind of a more defined line, but we'll have to wait and see how exactly that pans out. Now, the model moving through 12 a.m. Sunday, and then late overnight on Sunday into Monday morning is when we begin to see the precip creep in there. So that's 9 p.m. and then midnight, and then as you see, it gets a little bit heavier from there. The lighter blues meaning lighter snow, and the darker blues meaning heavier areas of snow, as you see. But it's actually showing us now continuing into Tuesday, into the daylight hours until maybe around 9 a.m. So that is a change from yesterday. And the GFS model is showing that change as well, indicated in some possibly higher accumulation amounts. So throw that up here for you. One sec. Got lots of slides today, so where is the GFS? Here we go. So again, just depending on where you live in the MuleTown, Murray County area, some of those darker amounts indicate the 3 to 4 range, but we're really close as well to the 5 range, just depending on where you live, if this turns out to be the case. Again, none of this is set in salt or set in stone and needs a big grain of salt. The grain of salt may get a little bit smaller as we get closer to the event once we come into the shorter range model guidance like we've been talking about. But right now, most of the models are trending towards agreement that there will be some sort of frozen precip snow accumulation. They've been trending away from the ice, luckily for us, so we don't really expect to see any ice. It looks like it will remain farther to our south across the Tennessee-Alabama line. A model called GEFS showing our chances to get more than 1 inch of snow, so right about 50 something percent right now as far as that goes. The interesting one is this. So yesterday we were rolling pretty low, and the chances of getting more than 4 inches, I think it was like 10% or less. Today, we're right at about 30 to 40%. So that is a slightly significant change from yesterday's models. But again, this is all long range models. So just giving us an idea of what we might expect. Somebody pointed it out most beautifully earlier that basically all I'm doing is showing all of the different models, kind of throwing them all in a bowl and combining them up and looking at what the average is, looking at the patterns, looking at things like that. So Canadian model showing us with about a 90% chance to see more than 1 inch of snow. So Canadian model, fairly good historically at predicting the snow, but again, they're all just models, so have to throw that in there. Let's see. We'll have a look at some of the accumulations. Again, this is the CMCE, the Canadian model, showing us somewhere between 1 and 6 inches. And I hate to say, between 0 and blah, but that's just the way things are. We can go off, what the models are telling us as far as the patterns go and try to extrapolate the rest out. EPS model is showing a little bit closer to 0 to 3 inches. As I mentioned in my post, there are some models that are kind of indicating a near miss, hashtag snow dome, as far as that goes. So we'll be keeping an eye on things, and just as each model run goes, we'll be looking at those and comparing them to the last run and so forth. So let's see which one. Yeah, we already did GFS. I'm just making sure we don't double up on any of these that we've already done. Yep, on those. And these are all the ones that I posted earlier. So if you want to go and have a look at these yourself, you can definitely do that. Here, yeah, so that's the one that we haven't done yet. So GEFS model, I've been using it a little bit. Also, pretty much in agreement between 0 inches and 5 inches. So most of the models are hovering around 2 to 3 inches. Some of them are a little bit less, some of them a little bit more. But again, the ones that are tending to agree as far as the duration being more on than off and into Tuesday possibly, that's where those larger amounts are coming from. So again, just throwing them all in a bowl and taking the averages and seeing how things go. It's what I'm doing at the moment. The next runs, I believe, yep. So yeah, the next runs are actually running right now. It looks like GFS is done, so I'll try to get some of those posted up in a minute. And the GEFS model is running right now, and it looks like it's about a little less than a third of the way through it. So we may have a look at those. Probably not on the broadcast here because it'll take it a little bit long. It's a 200-hour model, so it takes it a little while to run and get all of those individual slides put together. So we can go in and look at some of those that are already done in a moment, because it looks like there are a couple. Let me have a, because I haven't looked at these yet either, so let me have a look at this real quick. 18 Zulu run. Yep, so I'll go ahead and pull that. It's looking like 18 Zulu run is still about the same on GFS. It's showing pretty close to about 4.5 inches, maybe 5 inches, just depending on where you are in the MuleTown area. Let me get that pulled up here. Yep, so there we go. Just hot off the press, the 18 Zulu run. So again, about 4 or 5 inches. Oops, I got that on the zoomed out view, so let me get that again and fix that a little bit. There we go. So there is that, a little bit more zoomed in so you can kind of see. So darker blues, lighter blues, kind of right in the middle there between the 4 to 5, maybe some 3s on the lower ends of the accumulation spectrum. So most of them are tending to agree that we will see snow. Like I said, it's just basically the amounts and the duration that is still up in the air, but that's obviously a very important part of things. So let's see. Yeah, it looks like the icon model is got almost its full run, so I'll have a look at it. Yeah, it's just so for some comparison, the icon model is showing closer to about 2.5 to 3 inches. So get that. Yep. So, and there is the icon model. So again, we're kind of right on the edge between the 2 and 3 inches. And most of the ones that aren't in the higher, 4, 5, 6 amounts are hovering around the 2 to 3 inches. So that will probably be a good average to go with for now. And just for planning's sake, I don't want to say, hey, we're going to get 10 inches of snow and then it come 1 inch. And I don't want to say, hey, we're only going to get a dusting and then it come 10 feet of snow. So either is possible. I've seen these storms roll in and just stall out on us or kind of start to swirl, a la hurricane or something like that. And they can dump a lot of snow in a short amount of time sometimes. So don't think any of the other long ranges are done yet. Okay, I think, GFS has enough for us to get an idea. So it's not done running yet, but it looks like it will get us enough to get through Tuesday. Yeah, so pop that one up as well. And it's pretty much showing 2 inches right on the nose. So that's where most of them are hovering, is around the 2 to 3 inch area. And that's kind of what GEFS is saying as well. I want to say the last run was a little bit more. Let me look at that last run real quick. No, the last run was about the same. It's about 1.5 inches, so it has gone up a little bit, and that's just one of the things that we're having a look at is just, how much variance there are between the model runs. But that's just part of the process. So again, we don't know anything set in stone right now. It's still too early to say, but we are starting to get into the range of some of the mid-range models that are about 80 hours out or 60 hours out or so from that. So let me have a look at one of those real quick and see if it deserves any kind of post. No, and they're still stopping right around Sunday. So let's see about the Canadian model here. Canadian's usually pretty good at predicting snow, like I said. Let's have a look. Yeah, and it's stopping right at Monday about midnight, so it's starting to show some of the accumulations up to our north, but not quite our area yet. But those shorter range, mid-range models will be a little bit more accurate as far as our accumulations and the duration goes. So we'll just have to wait and see what they're saying as things get closer. But we should be able to know something fairly concrete as far as around Saturday night, Sunday daytime. So make sure you check with us to see, kind of what the prognostication is, because we are prognosticators. But again, we'll just have to wait and see when it gets here as far as what actually happens. Seeing too many of them sputter out or dry up just because of the really dry, cold air that we're going to be expecting. So it is a bit of a balancing act as far as that goes. And sometimes it works out for us, sometimes it doesn't. I know there are several, or plenty anyway, of y'all on the page that do not want to see the snow. You've got things to do and places to be, and I totally get it. I'm on the opposite end of the spectrum. I have to kind of remain objective and temper my expectations and excitement because I love snow. It's one of the few things that we can talk about and do here that doesn't really involve anybody getting hurt or being in danger. Obviously, I'm a storm chaser at heart. And we want to see the storms and everything, but we don't want anybody to get hurt. So this is one of the things, unless you slip and fall on your butt, that we can get excited about and do as far as not having anybody be hurt. So definitely excited about that as far as that goes. But I know there's plenty of you out there that are not. So definitely don't take that as me rubbing it in your face. I am just a big kid when it comes to the snow. So I'll go ahead and go into the comment section here real quick and see what you all are up to. Kathy says, what about Murfreesboro? It's probably going to be a similar story. Let me pull that last run back up. So yeah, Murfreesboro's looking like it's probably going to be around in the same 2-inch category, just depending again on the duration and where exactly that snowfall happens to kind of sag down to the south. It's going to be approaching majority from like the northwest, so it'll just be a wait and see for all of us. But that's a great question. As far as, I think you're asking about the storms. So yeah, it just from what the models are saying, they've trended away from it being more of an organized line to more of kind of like a blob or some individual cells. The blob is good, obviously. The individual cells may not be. It just depends on what kind of storms break out ahead of that line. Right. Jennifer says, do we think there will be any snow Monday? Yes. As far as things stand right now, just judging off of all of the models and just kind of taking into consideration what all of them are saying and when and how much, right now it does appear that we will likely see some accumulating snowfall Monday and possibly, I want to throw that possibly out there 3 times, for Tuesday. So it could be a multi-day event, possibly. Daniel says, chances that a surface low forms around the Gulf. I honestly could not say. I haven't been running the expanded view of most of the models. I've just been kind of tunnel visioned on Middle Tennessee, but it is very possible, and that's one of those things that we talk about that can always wreck our snow chances, and potentially get us ice or freezing rain instead of the snow, is that warm Gulf moisture. Right now, the models don't seem to support it, but again, this is all 4 days, 5 days out still, so anything can happen. Right. Jackie says, hey, from Skyview Drive. Miss Tammy sending a big money. Thank you. Always appreciate that. It helps us keep the lights on and do what we do. Definitely appreciate that. Holly says, hi from Hampshire, Tennessee. Megan here in the chat and the comment section with us. So glad to have all of you here. Stuart, do you have the Euro model? Yes, I do. And of course, all the stuff that I'm going and getting, guys, is all like open source information. I just personally use Pivotal Weather. If you go to pivotalweather.com /model, it should get you there. There is a paywall for some stuff. We've got the subscription where it'll let us zoom all the way down into the Murray County area instead of you look at like the whole country. But other than that, I think most everything is free. So you can go in and look at those. Looks like the Euro model is still on the 12 Zulu stuff, so it has not run again yet. So still waiting on that one. Stuart, but that's a great question. Betsy says grocery store sales are probably up. Yep, I guarantee you they are. As soon as anybody mentions the S word in the South, everybody either A, gets excited, or B, freaks out. So I can completely understand both ways. Completely. So again, just trying to temper my excitement a little bit and not rub anybody's nose in it that does not like snow or does not want to see the winter weather. So definitely don't take it as that. I am just a big kid when it comes to snow. But yeah, those are the main things that we've got to cover so far. And again, I posted all of this in on the page as well too. All of the slides that I'm using, other than the ones I literally just pulled just now with you, are all on the page. And we're also live streaming this on YouTube as well. So welcome and thank you for all of our YouTube viewers. We've got a couple of questions over there too. Mary says, the weather tomorrow, Friday, is it supposed to be severe as in possible tornadoes? Yes, so Friday there could be some strong to severe storms. I'll pull the SPC graphic back up for you. Where is it? Where is it? So yeah, here's the SPC outlook for tomorrow. Again, we're in the slight risk, but don't ever get too twisted up on the slight part of that. Tornadoes can happen, and marginal risk, which is the lowest there. So we are semi close to the enhanced risk. And I can go in and read some of the SPC product for my fellow weather nerds, and get into the weather speak in just a minute, because they do expect part of the surface low and the instability to track through southern Tennessee, but the southward extent of the storms is still, or excuse me, the northern extent of the storms is still a little bit uncertain. Right now, it appears from the SPC guidance and what they're saying that the majority of the more strong storms should be to our south down there, as indicated by the orange, the enhanced risk there, the level 3, if you see that on the scale over there. So great question though. The tornado risk itself is fairly low, but again, I'll never say there's no risk ever. So here is the categorical outlook for the wind. So we are in kind of the third step up there, the 15% on the damaging wind as far as that goes. And then the tornado risk, again, is not zero, but it is fairly low. And here is that. So we're in the 2% there, but you can see we're not very far. Southern Murray County is not very far from the next level up at the 5%. So it should be fairly low as far as the tornado threat goes. But excellent question, Mary. Melissa says, is it supposed to be on Monday? Yes, so the snow is coming in on Monday. There's a possibility that it could extend into Tuesday, but we're still looking into that. Right now, the timing looks to be like late Sunday night, early Monday morning, as far as that getting here. Great question, and we thank everybody joining us on YouTube as well. There is better video quality on YouTube, so when I can zoom into the maps and stuff, you can see like the county roads, city roads, and stuff like that a lot better on YouTube. It's better quality. I'm putting this out at I think just under 4K, 60 frames per second, and Facebook will only give me, I think, like 720p or something like that for the nerds that know what I'm talking about. So it's decent, but when I do things like this, it's a little harder to see the individual streets and details. So if we're ever on for a long period of time, you can always go on YouTube and put us up on like your smart TV or a tablet or something like that. So thank you to everybody joining us on YouTube. And Mary, you are very, very welcome. So go back into our Facebook comments here. Lindsay says, wonder if Murray County schools will close. It is a very good possibility. And I couldn't say for 100%. But if everything continues to hold true, it would not surprise me if schools close. So other than that, like I said, we'll just be watching things as it gets a little bit closer to our area, and then we'll be trying to get out some hard answers for you. Sometimes probably Saturday, Sunday daytime, that we should have a pretty good idea by then. So you are very welcome as well, Lindsay. So thank everybody for joining us. Again, if you're just joining us and you missed part of it, I'll go through some of the basics again. But most of the stuff that we've covered, other than the new models that I just pulled a second ago from the 19 Zulu run, are up on the page. So you can look at those as well. So today, sunny, great day as far as the weather went, high of about 57 degrees. And like I said earlier, it's probably going to be one of the last couple of ones that are good between now and Saturday or so. Sunday, it's going to start getting really cold. Really like dangerously cold. So definitely make sure that you have plans for that. tonight, low of around 44. Slight chance of precip, 15 to 20% or so, just depending on where you live in the Murray County area. And then Friday, we do expect some of those strong to severe storms, high around 59, and most all of the mid-state area has got a 100% chance of seeing some of those showers and thunderstorms, some of which could be severe, but overall it's a lower risk for tornadoes. It's mainly damaging straight line winds, because we're going to have a lot of wind, ambient winds, so winds that are just there that aren't relative to any storms. So once we do get those storms firing up, they'll obviously have those winds pushing them as well. The wind advisory is in effect for all of Middle Tennessee, 6 a.m. Friday until midnight. Some of the areas to our northwest, like around Paducah, actually have the next step up. They have a high wind warning. So now is the time to go in and secure any lightweight objects, outdoor objects, trash cans, inflatables, small children, all of that stuff. So make sure you are aware of that. And then, like we talked about, today was probably one of the the last decent days. Maybe Friday with the temps, and then beginning Saturday night into Sunday, it's going to start getting cold. So Saturday, high of around maybe 36 to 44 degrees. But then that night, so low of around 16 or 22 degrees. And then once we get into Sunday night, into Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, the temperatures are brutal. So that's obviously going to be even worse when you factor in the wind chills with any of those. I don't have the wind forecast information just at the tip of my fingers right now for next week, but it doesn't take much, obviously, when we are in the teens or the single digits to get below zero. So we could very well see some sub-zero temperatures on some of those nights next week. All right, slight technical difficulty there. Sorry about that. But Friday, so tomorrow, got our categorical risk there for some of those strong to severe storms that we might see. And then, obviously, I know everybody wants to talk about the snow. So, got a couple of those that we've got on the page right now, and then yeah, I think these two were the last ones that I just pulled. So from the 18 Zulu run from the Icon model, showing about 2.5, 3 inches or so. And then the GEFS from the 18 Zulu run as well, showing about 2 inches. So some of them are showing some higher totals up in, the 4 to 6 inch area, or showing some probabilities being fairly high for those, but they're all not saying that. So for right now, I've just been working off of an average of probably about 2 to 3 inches, maybe 2 to 4. Just depends on when this thing comes through, the duration of it, and how heavy or how intense the snow is. But right now, we are not expecting any of the ice. All of the models have started trending away from the ice as far as that goes. So that's definitely good news there. Love to see the snow. Don't want to see the ice at all, because that definitely causes a lot of problems. So the only other thing we may have to contend with will be the sub-freezing temperatures that can begin to affect the brine. And I'm going to look that up right now, because I don't remember. I want to say it was about like 15 or 16 degrees. Oh, excuse me. So, it says dramatically drops performance off below 25 degrees. So, and 15 degrees. So yeah, that's what it was. So pretty much ineffective below 15 degrees. So that is definitely something that we could run into. We're going to be sub-freezing the whole entire time, but some of the roads that do get treated or salted or scraped or whatever could again refreeze between say Monday night and Tuesday morning. So if you've got to get out and commute Tuesday, definitely watch out for black ice. The city of Columbia is pretty good about getting most of the main surface roads cleared pretty quickly and plowed as far as that goes. TDOT as well on all the state roads and the interstate. So usually those are pretty good. But with the timing of this, it looks like it's going to fall pretty much within the commute time around, overnight into noon, at least for the heavier precip that we're going to get. So definitely plan ahead and give yourself plenty of time to arrive safely if you must compute. So all right, go back into the comments real quick, see what's going on. Garland says, what's up with tomorrow's wind threat? It's been really windy here lately, and it's been a lot to do with the frontal systems that we've had coming through, with pushing a good bit of wind this way as they roll through. I've got that graphic again here that we can pull up, so we will have that wind advisory in effect. So pretty easily can see some 46 to 50 mile an hour, 55 mile an hour winds possible on Friday. And again, those are ambient winds. Any of the storm relative winds would be in addition to that. So that is why we do have the higher threat, I'm assuming, from the Storm Prediction Center is due to the wind. So it's not as much of a tornado threat, although we can never rule it out, but it looks like it is more of a wind event tomorrow. Patty says, thank you, and you are very welcome, Patty. And Kimberly, you are very welcome too. Vicky, I'm not sure what's going on your end. It says I am putting out sound as far as all of my instruments are telling me here, so I'm not sure. Yep, Wayne is checking his beehives and preparing for the cold weather. Absolutely. Definitely. If you've got any of those loose ends to tie up or loose things around outside, pets, koi pond, whatever, now is the time to go ahead and make sure that you are doing your preparations for that. Get ready to plan out your route to work Monday morning or Tuesday, things like that. I've got a couple of graphics up on the page that I'm happy to go ahead and show y'all again. This one in particular, I want to throw up because it's not throw up here. It has got some good advice to it. So winter storm prep as far as the timeline goes. So a few days out, that's where we are now. If the forecast calls for winter weather, start preparing now. Have emergency supplies for your home and car. If you have to go refill medicines or anything like that, if you can refill them early, go ahead and do that. That's one less thing you've got to do. Check on your smoke and carbon monoxide detectors, especially if you are one of those folks that's using like a furnace or something like that, some other alternative manner of heating your house or your whatever. Make sure you have plenty of fuel for those heating sources and for your vehicles. You don't want to get stuck somewhere and run out of fuel, because that's definitely how it's going to keep you warm. If you do get stuck somewhere, I don't think we're going to have like 3 feet of snow or anything like that, but if you get stuck in, say, like a snowbank or something like that, make sure your car's exhaust pipe isn't occluded. If it's clogged up, it could be pushing some of that exhaust back in towards the interior of the vehicle. The day before, forecast accuracy continues to improve, so that's kind of where we are right now. The models are tending to agree that we're going to see some snow. We just don't know how much yet. Keep checking out the latest. Of course, we'll have those for you as they come out. We'll be discussing those, talking about those, and doing the things to make sure you are all prepared and you have the best information possible. Make any adjustments to your plans. Again, doctor's appointments, things like that, childcare, go ahead and just have that backup plan B and maybe even a plan C in effect just in case. have multiple ways to receive warnings. Obviously, NOAA Weather Radio is one of the best $10, $15, $20 that you will spend in your life. If you don't have one of those, get one. You can program them to only alert you to certain things or certain counties. That way, I know people value their sleep and don't want to be woken up if it's nothing big. You can usually tell the fancier ones that you only want tornado warnings for Murray County or so on and so forth. And obviously, we are a way to receive those warnings and advisories. So as soon as they get issued from the NWS, we try to get those posted and disseminated out to y'all as fast as we can. Bring the pets indoors, ensure they have water. So we've been talking about this on the page. I've got to drag my German Shepherd in. He loves the snow. Obviously, not all animals are created the same there. Smaller animals, older animals, going to have a harder time with that. And some of the more hardier, thicker-coated working animals are going to just have a ball in it. So obviously, keep an eye on them as well. So during and after, remain vigilant and stay informed. That's one of the things that we try to help with. Drive only if necessary. If the roads are bad and people are out in it, I can guarantee you there's going to be people in ditches or cars piled up. Can speak from experience there that the first responders will be very, very busy. Usually so busy to where they can only like tag a car with some crime scene tape or something on the door handle to let everybody else know that comes through there that it's empty or unoccupied, and they won't even worry about pulling you out. Wreckers will be busy, 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 busy. So try not to be one of those folks. But do check on your neighbors and family. Make sure that they're warm and toasty and they have everything that they need. Make sure you properly ventilate your emergency heat sources. That is a very, very big one. Carbon monoxide will kill you quickly, and you don't even realize it's killing you at the time. So be very, very vigilant about that. If you got a generator like we do here, make sure you keep it at least 20 feet from your home. That's obviously a fire safety thing. And again, for the carbon monoxide, you don't want to go there. When you are outside playing or shoveling, take it easy. Dress in layers, but definitely don't get to the point to where you are sweating, because that can cause you problems as well. So just a couple of helpful things to think about. And now is the time to think about all of those. As we mentioned, we're just about 5 days out from this. So as we go, the forecast confidence will be increasing. But right now it's still too much in the air, I would say, to give any kind of definite amounts or any kind of hard predictions there. But it does look increasingly like we will be seeing a winter event late Sunday night into Tuesday, or Monday and Tuesday. So stay tuned with us for the latest and the greatest updates. Check our comments again. Yep, Debbie says, don't forget to remove any water hoses hooked up to pipes to prevent freezing and bursting. Yes, absolutely. There is another graphic, I think, that Boppy posted the other day about that. I can pull it up too. There's a lot of this that I'm pulling this from. You can go to weather.gov/safety/winter, and it will tell you the differences, between like winter storm warnings, winter storm watch, winter weather advisory. Those are all three separate products that mean three different things. So we want to keep an eye on those. And then avoiding frozen water pipes. I'll pull that up here for us as well, because that is a great piece of info as well, as far as the precautions that you can take. So before the cold weather sets in, make sure your sprinkler systems or irrigation systems are all turned off and drained if you have any of those. Try to get rid of any cold air sources near water lines. So for me, my tankless water heater is right near the back door in the garage. So that's one of the things that I always stay on the kids about, is making sure the door stays closed. Know how to shut off your water. If you need one of the big keys to do that, make sure you've got it handy, or you go grab one from Lowe's, or get you a pair of channel locks or something that you can turn that with. Protect any pipes, especially any of those like that in the garage or outdoors. Wrap them with the foam insulation. It's pretty cheap. You can get that, I think, most anywhere. Walmart, Home Depot, Lowe's, Ace Hardware, anything like that. Also allow some water to trickle. I mean, just a couple of drips and trickles is enough to keep the water moving in that system, and it will help with it freezing. If you do happen to have any pipes that burst, obviously shut off the water immediately. You can try to, heat up frozen pipes with a hair dryer. I've had to do that before, again, with my aforementioned water heater in the garage. And definitely be careful turning the water back on after all of this if you have to turn it off, because you could have a burst or a crack in a pipe and not know about it. So you definitely don't want water gushing out under the house or the crawl space or anything like that. So those are all some good suggestions. And we've got those all posted on the page if you want to have a look. Really? Okay. I haven't seen those school closings yet, so let me go ahead and have a look at that. Let's have a look. Don't see any of those listed yet. It looks like Clay County and Salina, Monroe County, those are all closed, looks like today or tomorrow. So let me check some of the other Nashville sites. Just historically, it seemed like Channel 5 got them up rather quickly. So that's one of the ones that I used, but I'm definitely not endorsing anybody one way over the other. School closings. Yeah, it looks like officially the only ones that are closed right now are Clay and Monroe County, so not really in our area there. Let me check Channel 4 real quick. So yeah, it looks like officially the only ones that are closed are those two right now. Checked all of the Nashville channels here. And yeah, none of them are showing anything in the Middle Tennessee area right now. So I don't want to go out on a limb and say that one just yet, Miss Tammy. But other than that, I would not surprise me to see schools closing. Hopefully Sunday night. I hope they don't wait until Monday morning to do it. If this is looking like it's going to be a certain thing, hopefully they'll go ahead and do it. But something tells me that they will wait. I'm saying they posted it on their Facebook. Okay, let me see if I can find that real quick. All right, so it looks like their Facebook page is saying that they will be closed Friday, 12 January, so tomorrow, due to the high winds. It doesn't say anything about next week yet, so but according to their Facebook page, Lawrence County schools are closed tomorrow, 12 January. So have not seen any of the other ones listed yet. So, and yeah, Monday is a holiday as well too, so that does help. But it would not surprise me to see them possibly close Tuesday as well, just depending on how things are cleared or how much refreezing we get. Because again, that could be an issue as far as anything that does get cleared or salted. With the temps being so low, the salt mix is going to be pretty ineffective. So especially overnight, definitely want to watch out for the black ice and for your commute on Tuesday morning. So other than that, I think that's about all I've got for you all. Let me double check the comment section here. I think we've got them all covered here on Facebook. Pop over YouTube. Melissa says, thank you for your coverage and updates. We thank you for following us and joining us, Melissa. Appreciate that, each and every one of you. Every little click, tap, like, comment, and share, and everything that we get helps us out with Facebook. So We definitely appreciate all of that. We did make it to our 15,000, so that is awesome as well. Tell y'all all the time, y'all are the wind beneath our wings, and we mean it. Love you, mean it. This is why we do all these things. So, again, we'll be posting the updates as they come out for you. Make sure to stay tuned, and you will get the latest updates from us as they come out from the National Weather Service and out of my brain. So, we appreciate you and hope you have a great rest of your night.